Okay. Um, I think we ended. I'm not gonna say where we ended. Can anybody tell me where we ended?
Yes, we ended with all of us walking into a classroom hurrying after Jean-Luc
Okay.
because he didn't want to be late because he wants to learn.
What led into this event?
Oh my God, I don't remember how we got here. Oh, uh, the Vinces went down to retrieve an artifact from the lake at the village we were staying, and they were like sucked into this all like this hole, and I believe we followed them.
Mm-hmm.
And when we all came to, we were in this like high school kind of like anime.
So it wasn't a direct follow. You kind of appeared here. As far
Okay.
as you were aware, you didn't like travel here by any particular route. But the Vinces were pulled here because they spoke to somebody.
Mhm.
Whomst, whomst did they speaketh?
I think it was the jellyfish one.
Indeed,
Yes.
the jellyfish one was summoned, uh, and by virtue of this kind of idol, and that is how they ended up inside this kind of memory or whatever it is. This like alternate dream state, and the rest of you just kind of showed up, um, which is confusing to all involved.
Hmm.
And upon arrival, you have found yourselves diminished um, in in overall stature, but you were not diminished in your overall presentation and had to assume human forms lest you cause a scene.
Hmm.
That said, with every little step you take, you become progressively more aware of the fact that things just kind of don't necessarily feel right because you're starting to get used to your other bodies. And this feels like hiding a bunch of things, which can be kind of fun sometimes, depending. At the moment, it feels fairly low stakes in here, except that the last thing that you saw, I believe it was Vincetta or one of the two of them, saw Lace reflected in a window,
Yep.
suggesting that you what?
Um, that we are a, how did you how did I put it? Uh, solve the story.
Yeah, it was like
Hmm.
solve this,
Yeah.
this general thing, um, and that was it. That's where we left off. So I'm gonna go ahead and give one medium to John and two medium to me. um, and then a half a medium to Tygon.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's not enough for you to do much with, but if you want to just kind of tug it in a corner, you can use it like a bobblehead.
Hmm.
Oh, nice.
It'll
I've always wanted one of those.
it'll just kind of shake there. You can tap it.
Like a little glob of medium that occasionally pokes so it wobbles around.
Yeah, did you ever see? It's like the little shaky shakies from Mononoke.
Oh yeah. Oh, what are those things called?
Shaky shakies. And if they're not, they are now.
I'm afraid I've done my best to purge that film from my memory.
Oh no, why?
But
uh, because it was kind of traumatizing.
Ah, fair. As all the best things are.
Yeah.
Okay, you arrive inside the classroom. All about you are familiar faces. Um, I was going to continue that until the rest of that song, but I actually realized I didn't know the next lyric. You get inside, and they are not actually familiar faces. It's a bunch of kids. Um, place looks like it
worn out
is.
spaces.
Yeah, we're not. There you go. Thanks for looking that up.
I did, and I just didn't. I missed what song it was, and then you said
uh,
familiar faces. I was like, oh, Mad World.
oh yeah. You get inside, and there are seats available including spare seats. Who knows why they're there? Could just be that the classroom is underpopulated. Um, but you seem to be able to sit down without a big deal. Um, hey, Kitty, how you doing? Uh, and as you're just kind of sitting there, you can all kind of put yourselves more or less where you want to in this class. So where do you want to be?
Ambrose and probably Jean-Luc are going to sit near the front.
Okay. You manage to get desks next to each other, to which Jean-Luc is exceedingly pleased, um, and looks excited to be seated at his position. There is a series of different books that look kind of unopened in front of him, and a bunch of tools that are organized but also appear to be kind of unused. Um, One of the things that you will notice upon looking at these books is that they are in English, and they are as much a mystery to you as they are probably to him.
Hmm.
Um, I will sit towards the front.
Okay.
Um, well, the Vincent Vincetta will sit wherever they find seats that are as close together as possible because, kind of have to.
Mhm. Uh, I'm gonna say
Uh,
that you actually do end up with somebody between the two of you, just by virtue of seating position.
Okay.
So you're in a kind of peculiar spot where you just don't really have great eye contact with each other. And that's you're certainly still within coherency. But like it occurs to you that this is one of the first times you've been seated in a relatively locked position where you just kind of can't see each other, with the exception of like one night that you both stayed in separate rooms. Um, and it provides a just sort of different experience.
and I'm going to sit as close to the back of the middle. Not quite the back of the room. Not quite that far back, but just in this perfect spot.
What does this perfect spot afford you?
The the position of not seating myself amongst the weirdos in the back or the nerds in the front,
Ah,
but not caring too much, but still being engaged.
Ah,
excellent, excellent. And
And being completely and totally rigidly on edge and incredibly hyper aware that the form that he takes now doesn't exactly look like he did when he was in school at this time,
mhm.
because he is a lot more androgynous.
hmm.
Like, go ahead.
No, you can continue.
Just by virtue of both being not prepubescent, but pre-adolescent,
Mhm.
and also just because things are changing,
You,
and his body wants to be his whole essence wants to be more himself,
mhm.
and the result of that is him being like kind of in a position where it's impossible to tell at a you know by looking at him if he is male or female.
Gotcha. You do actually find that as you were sort of wrestling with this kind of interior narrative of wanting to make sure that you can, depending on how it is that you're kind of thinking about it in your mind, if it's trying to look out for your group and be the sort of example, or if it's trying to just kind of be the cool kid in school kind of thing, or if it's just reflecting of like, I know how to survive these environments, I'm a pro at this. um, you can kind of electively change aspects of your vision, but it ends up bringing up strange kind of familiar strains of like you can assume a posture, and while assuming that posture, you'll also assume an almost different physiology a little bit. But doing so feels extremely performative, and it's familiar and kind of highlights how performative it was the first time you went through it. Like how much of that kind of demeanor was a thing that was put on as a survival instinct. My cat is all up on the table. Um, but yeah,
Quinwiver.
you you probably miss like the initial chatter around you just by virtue of your interior dialogue at the moment, trying to figure out like what am I doing? How do I want to do this right now? should I broaden these? Should I like narrow these?
I'm gonna say that he's occasionally getting weird muscle cramps, just in random places around his body, just the manifestation of this strain throughout the medium, and has no understand, and it just cannot right now fathom why. Just like, my finger locked up.
How does this play into y'all's kind of affinities versus disdains? Is this environment a place that people kind of recall fondly? Has that fondness changed by virtue of the fact that you're in it kind of under a new guise? Or is it kind of
Would
like recalling behaviors that you are feeling sort of pulled back into?
would you consider this a liminal space or no?
Not really. This
Okay,
is a space that has a specific purpose.
right.
So it's
Uh,
not dynamic, or is it?
Um, I mean it's rigid. It's instructional.
Okay.
I would probably not call it dynamic. I would call it like, a place of protocol.
Okay.
But remember, as the case with all these, they don't necessarily need to match. They don't have a mechanism. I'm asking about like when your character is here, are they excited about an opportunity to kind of revisit this in a new life, or has this been like, oh shit, here we go again kind of thing?
uh, I think this is the sort of thing of I'm happy to revisit this and do it right this time.
Well, I have no experience with it, so it is something that is completely new for Ambrose, and he is excited to learn about it.
I am going to say that Vincent remembers his school time rather fondly.
Okay.
So this is kind of exciting. To go back to that for a even if it is just a couple of days.
Hopefully.
Um, Stop it, Emmy.
Oh, I need to be in. Sorry.
But also to see if this is this just nostalgia, or was it actually a good time?
Is this the real life?
It's just fantasy.
My cat is this big.
Um,
No, that cat is small. That cat is far away.
did Rowan speak up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Fidelity remembers high school very fondly. This, this is not high school, but also this grade as well. He did very well in school. And he is now finding it miserable. This is a place of intense responsibility and expectation. And that is very. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that is interesting because it's actually the opposite for Vincent.
This is a carefree time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, true. There is some, pressure to perform, but you have no responsibility. You don't have to make any decisions. This is great.
And for Fidelity, he's got to make his dad proud. He's got to be one of the cool kids. He's got to look out for his friends who don't understand how to avoid being bullied as easily.
We woke up and got here on time. That can be our parents can be proud of that.
Fidelity has brothers to compete against, whether that's a spoken thing or not.
How old are they, by the way? Would they be in this school? You're at the kind of top of the grade in this particular school if we're going off of like American standards, so if they're older, they're probably not here anymore.
I think I haven't ever nailed down exactly what the Fitzgibbon family is.
Mm-hmm.
Several brothers and sisters. And I think I had placed him somewhere in the middle-ish.
Okay. So if a sibling were to show up or something, it would be possible they'd be at this school.
Yeah.
Age group wise.
Well, yeah, I think it would. Yeah, it would definitely be possible. What with the Fidelity being like 12 or 13, he doesn't have any siblings that are older than 17 at this point.
Okay.
Definitely, probably not old. Probably if there is an oldest one that is far enough, it might be 16, probably 15.
Well, none of them appear to be in this class, which is not surprising since this is both not your time period and also not a school that you ever attended. But there are many other people in here that do kind of seem, like they belong here. And as you're all kind of seated down and settling in and kind of like, several of you sort of realizing that you don't necessarily have the trappings that you need to get started, there is a click click kind of like tapping that takes place of heels walking on the kind of 80s linoleum floor, as supposedly the teacher comes in, dressed in a snappy looking suit dress kind of combo, and she gets up to the front to kind of like command some attention. And the thing that you kind of notice pretty immediately is that she's not human. There's a big kind of like eyeball right up here, and just kind of this big grinny mouth, almost looking like a cherry from Has Been. Similar kind of look to the little minstrel that you saw before, only this is clearly a biped in a kind of humanoid body. But if notions have some kind of genealogy, or at least similar spectrum of the idea, you might almost think that this was kind of like a family adjacency.
Huh.
But it's like a thing that, it's wait, what? Because everybody else around you looks like a human. It just sort of this one just very clearly is not. And she taps up on the board and says, "All right, everybody, wake up. Apparently we have some new students, and nobody's batting an eye at this. Like this seems to be a pretty like clear normal thing to everybody who's sort of like sitting in this room."
That answers the question I had.
Yeah,
which
no.
was is anybody reacting to her unusually? But no, apparently not. Okay.
Yeah, nobody seems to be freaking out or anything else of that particular nature. Um, but we'll have uh, come to me, brain space. You can do it. Jean-Luc uh, will kind of lean over to Ambrose and be like, "Nobody knows. They can't tell. They can't see."
Oh, that's wonderful.
Uh, uh, and then he kind of points to his head, and then points to your head, and says, "Tell the other ones. Tell your friends." Or something. Shh.
And he will send that through the music. He'll be like, Jean-Luc says they can't see us and to shush.
No, that the others can't see that the teacher isn't human.
Oh, I will
Yeah.
amend that. I'm like, oh, I mean that the teacher isn't human.
Mhm. And he kind of whispers and goes, "I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about it when we can." And then the teacher will kind of like tap a ruler against like the board to kind of get his attention. And he'll look forward back and try to like redirect it, but he'll kind of look at everybody like, "I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later." Kind of like off to the side.
And he'll nod happily.
Mm. But yes, y'all will receive an indication from Ambrose that apparently this condition is secretive.
Okay.
Okay.
But she will instruct the closest person, which is Ambrose. Would you stand up and introduce yourself, please?
Ambrose will stand up and he'll say, my name is Ambrose. I am 13 years old. And I really like bugs and the wind and flowers.
Gay.
I'll just smile.
There's also a genuine smile coming from Jean-Luc, who has only exposure to this particular term has actually been pretty positive.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Yeah, my little gay friend."
Did somebody actually say gay?
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't necessarily pick out who, but there was certainly a snicker from somewhere in the back at the mention of liking bugs and flowers.
And Ambrose will say thank you, and then he'll sit back down.
The same kind of group. At this point, there's a little bit more chatter, so like you can probably pick down who that was. There's some group of students somewhere who are just sort of like, did he just say like he actually is gay? Um,
I'm memorizing them.
You have figured out not only their looks, their appearances, but also where they live somehow with this.
You will die first.
There is a kind of clicking from the front of the room as the teacher's like, thank you, Ambrose. And she'll gesture to the next fresh person in line, which I believe was probably Evelyn, was near the front.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll kind of stand up and fold my hands, and I'll say, "My name is oh, sorry. I'll say my name is Evelyn Beatrice Preston. I read a lot, and I like to. Oh, sorry. Um, and I like to sing.
Ooh. Are you gonna be in the choir for the school, Evelyn?
I guess.
All right. Well, we'll make sure that you can talk to somebody about that so that they can get you situated if you want to try out. We have a great choir here.
I nod and sit back down.
She will kind of point on the last one as she's getting people to kind of introduce herself. She's also passing out like a pencil bag, and a general textbook looking thing. you'll find that all the textbooks you're being handed are different. They're all historical textbooks, but they're coming from dramatically different years, different manufacturers. They're not standardized.
Interesting.
My textbook referred to the civil rights movement as trouble ahead.
They've referred to gravity as a charming theory. Congress is spelled with an F.
What's this
Not the
about?
Congress.
What's this about spontaneous generation?
But yes, they are different in manufacturer. Their dates do vary, but not hugely. You're all getting something roughly within 10 years of kind of like the current date.
Okay.
All right.
Why was this published by Milton Bradley?
Take what we can get, I guess.
Yeah.
I see dream schools are no better funded than the real ones.
I think the next person was going to be the twins.
Yeah. Regardless whether they are addressed at the same time or not, they will both get up at the same time.
Mhm.
And yeah, look at each other for a moment and then shrug and start introducing. Yes, hello, I'm Vincetta. Hello, I'm Vince. And yes, we are twins.
Do a perception check back there since you're being hyper alert, Fox. Body perceive. Make it difficulty like 2.
Okay, quick question.
Mhm.
Will this be simplified
test?
by instrument?
Oh,
What?
I said, will this be on the test?
Oh. Sorry.
You will
Simplify
find,
check
actually,
related to
though, now that you bring it up, that your instrument is not on you. It did not join you in the broom realm.
Oh no.
Oh. I'm glad I asked.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
what
kind
was
of forgot to bring that up, but I was waiting for y'all to like reach for one or something. But yeah, it's not there, and as such, neither is your weaponry. Your
cool.
natural
Sorry.
weaponry can be manifested, but your kind of projected weaponry is not there.
What is the what was the test again? Sorry.
Body perceive.
Body perceive. Difficulty 2. Why did I not look at my body perceive score while I was saying those words? There we go. Okay. Now I know what I'm actually rolling. / roll. $13.
Nice. When the yes, we are twins is mentioned from probably the same group or maybe adjacent, you're not certain, but it still seems like the back of the room crowd. You're pretty sure you hear somebody say score.
Okay, that's fine.
It might have been you. You're not certain.
Boys will be boys.
But continue, Dagon.
Yes.
It might have been you.
We like to read, do puzzles. Oh, and cats.
Yay.
The teacher goes, "Do you have a cat?"
Something like that.
There's a brief pause. I also say, yes. Two, actually.
Oh, what are their names?
Crap.
This is where you just kind of go, Fidelity and
Evelyn.
Harold?
Yes, let's go with that. Yeah, Fidelity and yeah, Fidelity and Harold.
Wow. Very cute. And she'll just kind of gesture to the next person in line who is now having to deal with the fact that Fidelity was just named as a cat.
He's like that actually like broke his expression for a second, and he's just kind of like was staring for a brief moment aghast, like in panic. As I'll just stand up, just like, "Hi, I'm Mark. My name's Mark. I just I like cool stuff, music, basketball."
Everybody can kind of react to this announcement in their own way, but the one that is kind of visible NPC wise is Jean-Luc looking kind of baffled. Like, Mark.
What the hell is a mark?
And he'll kind of look back, and you can pretty easily pick up the sort of confused look on his face, because everybody else had used their name, and he's not entirely certain why that would suddenly change.
It's like, just like, not a lot to say. Been really into this new indie band, Bugs and Flowers. It's really cool stuff. Anybody who hasn't heard of them's a huge dork. And I'll sit down.
I think there is probably a kind of glow ring that's coming from the back as like war has just been declared somehow.
Oh boy.
But teacher nods. Whose name is going to be, I don't know why, but Laszlo is in my head. Why not?
I am your ordinary grade school teacher. The greatest teacher in New York City.
I totally forgot about him too. I just don't know why the name was in my head. But here we are.
Matt Berry signed on to the Harry Potter audiobook, and I'm very upset.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's
I
shitty.
love him.
I may have to reserve Laszlo because that might just be a fun like freaking NPC to have in here at some point.
It would be.
Yeah. I will stay instead, Lindsay. So Lindsay, sure, that will go. That she'll be like, so I'm Miss Lindsay. I am teaching the history class here at this school, for both the local and adjacent. And she kind of gives a little nod to everybody there. Seems pretty well mannered and almost like peculiarly casual for the fact that, like, to at least y'all's eyes, she definitely doesn't look like she belongs in the setting. She'll say, okay, why don't you all open your books? We're going to cover continue with American history now, and then next period we'll move into Galarian history. And then she just kind of like drops that, and there is again a kind of feeling of like what? Um, and the students around don't necessarily seem to react.
I'll just open my textbook, I guess.
It is riddled with different notes. It has clearly been passed around as a loner before.
It's got the cool S.
Oh yeah, no, that's there. That's probably in your desk somewhere. But the
Evelyn
go on.
Evelyn S. Preston, Esquire.
You just write the thing out with like cool S's.
Yes,
Actually, Evelyn is not familiar with the cool S.
that's true. That's
Sad.
your time.
Yep.
I, or at least one of me, is gonna quickly, go through the history book. Is there any gallery history in that?
No, but like depending on how your yeah, I don't think that would happen. Yeah, not that you can see.
All right.
The one that you have appears to be current. In fact, it might even be the same book you used, because you technically went to school a few years like earlier than this. Just depending on your current age at 1985. So, but like, depending on the funding of the school, they might not have updated the books very rapidly. So this isn't all that different from a book that you used.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, very, very possible.
But yeah, the lecture will begin, and just sort of proceed more or less how you sort of expect it to. The period's not terribly long. It's probably going to be an hour. And it's all sort of like cloyingly usual. Like you sort of expected something new to leap out of the wall when you saw the person walk in who was like this like Coplian creature that's now teaching the course, but like it's pretty normal. You get the opportunity to kind of like look at and see some of the other kids. Some people speak up with answers to questions. You can kind of figure out where several of the niches are in the classroom, who's associating with who and what, and it more or less proceeds as you would kind of expect it to. The only thing that really kind of catches your attention is as you sit there, it can occasionally take a little more effort than you would sort of expect to not just kind of like fall back into forms that have become familiar to you. Which is the amount of like, you don't have to roll any kind of resist or anything like that. The amount of effort it takes to keep yourself from kind of displaying your motif is really kind of down to the individual. So, like, is this a thing that you find difficult to do, or are you able to kind of maintain this form relatively simply? Which, on a per person basis, you can let me know.
Uh,
How is this for
uh,
Ambrose?
Um, like the experience of reading the textbook specifically.
No, it's maintaining your kind of unmotived form, like the
Oh,
fact that you are not be like right now. That you're just kind of like
strange.
default human. Is that a thing he
It's
has a hard time doing?
it's not hard for him specifically because all he has to do is think about Jean-Luc and he's like, I can keep this form. I want to look like Jean-Luc.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But it is weird sitting because he doesn't have like he still walks like there's a stinger attached to him.
Mm-hmm.
So like a little bent at the waist forward, just a little, and
That is
when he sits
not
down, he
helping the
looks
gay
startled for a second.
allegations.
Exactly. And when he sits down, it feels strange because he doesn't have that extra balance, but he also doesn't have to try and fit it through a seat.
Mm.
So he's kind of grateful for that.
Uh, you are definitely getting looks as you move around. And probably the one over here who is feeling, hyper self-conscious about the whole thing is being like, oh, I'm gonna have to like give Ambrose all kinds of different lessons on what we'd have to do here.
Uh, I think I'm maintaining my form quite well. I am quite comfortable.
Okay.
It's definitely gonna be a bit difficult. Uh, for Vincent and Vincent. Yeah, because they haven't really had haven't felt the urge to be human again, and they're very comfortable in their manifested form. So it's a bit difficult, yeah.
One of the things that you're kind of noticing that you have to look out for as you're doing stuff is when you're being asked to write or anything like that, you have to use your hands, which you've been kind
Mhm.
of using medium to manipulate everything since you've been in this kind of quadrupedal form.
Yeah.
So picking up a pencil feels a little like weird right now. And it's a thing to kind of get back used to again.
Mhm. Yeah, that's definitely a moment where one or both of them on occasion during the day, they had to start writing something down that would just sitting there looking down at the page, and then there's a, well, why isn't the pencil doing its thing? Oh, right, yeah. Oh.
Mm-hmm. George?
I think that I'm gonna say Fidelity is like really struggling in this situation. He is fully within a disdain because like places of responsibility and expectation is like word for word one of his disdains.
Right.
And I think that's making it easier to hide his true form, but it's also making him a lot more uncomfortable and distracted. And he's taking a lot of notes and making a lot of little doodles to try to distract himself from that
I'm gonna say
so that he
there's
doesn't accidentally do something that makes him stand out.
right. I was gonna say there's probably a lot of mental baggage right now about assuming that you're somehow going to be found out. That might actually be manifesting as accidentally letting things slip, or not, locking it down physically, but worrying that there might be something showing. Um, it's just a matter of like that sort of voice in the back of your head of Elsa saying, "Conceal, don't feel, don't let it show."
He's fixing his hair a lot to make sure that there aren't ears there. He's or antlers. He's adjusting his shoes, but like moving his shoes around with his feet
Right.
to make sure there are no hooves.
Which is kind of a weird feeling because you haven't had toes in a minute.
That's true.
You're also sort of used to walking on sort of like high heels, essentially. Um, so as you get up toward the end of the period and start walking again, you have to sort of like be aware of how you're moving so you're not standing on tippy toe. Um, and the worry that that's being seen. In the meantime, Ambrose has gotten up, butt out, full on display, and is gleefully chatting with Jean-Luc toward the end of this class.
I'm gonna like quickly walk over. It's like, hey, Empress, is your back okay?
It feels light. It's weird.
I'm just like, gotta stand up straight, bud.
I am.
No, you're not. I'm just kind of like square his shoulders.
What's wrong with
Jean-Luc
our
will kind of
standing?
give you a look, and he'll whisper like he's used to having a like stinger mark.
I know. I'm just like, I know, Jean. That's why I'm helping him stand like a human.
As Fidelity kind of straightens you out, there'll be this kind of look from Jean-Luc of like, I mean, it, it seems a little odd, but I guess is this kind of like a praising thing if he's just kind of not used to you walking, not like a raptor.
Yeah,
You do find your back does hurt a little bit less though if you don't just kind of like
that's
lean
good.
over at the hip.
That's good. I say he walks like I do sometimes, which is where when I was young, and I mean like 12, I was really into Nightcrawler,
Oh
and
hell
so
yeah!
I taught myself to walk on my tiptoes, and now I just do that sometimes.
Hell
Just
yeah!
it's just how I stand.
The neurodivergent
Yeah,
urge to not be flat-footed.
Yup.
yeah,
Um,
I do that as well. To be honest.
yeah. So you give this a shot, and you know it lasts for about as long as it's gonna last. Before you kind of forget about it and come back. At the moment, there isn't really much time for anybody to kind of give you flack over it.
Mhm.
But there is the between period class where you can go to the bathroom. You've got like 10 minutes before the next like period begins. It's apparently still in this classroom. Um, as the next part of it. But Jean-Luc will meet with you all and kind of like pull you all over, and be like, "Where? How did you end up in here?"
Well,
Uh, not
we
sure.
we were at
Oh,
a village. Oh, go on.
that is kind of our fault.
Like, oh, okay. Well then, how did we end up here? He's kind of crossing his arms.
Well, okay. Jean-Luc, to catch you up real quick, we were looking for like an idol at the bottom of a lake. The two of us,
Mhm.
and we kinda got drawn into this. What was the thing again called this
The unseen.
this the unsea? Yes, this is kind of like a water dimension.
Oh man, the lady in the boat was talking about that. That's super bad.
Yeah, there was just water around us, and you know we're made of stone. We can't really swim. And uh and well, uh, one of the what are they called, avatar or mouth or whatever of Lace showed up and offered to get us out of there because they kind of want the idol to be out, but you know how the patrons are. Still gotta do something for them.
He nods and goes, "Okay, do you know what it is you need to do?"
Um, Not specifically. It's like we're supposed to solve this place.
Hmm.
Like
Uh,
there's something here that needs solving.
John, you were gonna say something.
I don't recall.
Oh. Jean-Luc was is kind of pondering it and says, "Well, I mean, I guess there's a lot of things here that could be solved. This is sort of a place that Harold gave me access to kind of learn about things. I guess it gets used with some degree of regularity. Um, and he kind of like points off toward the classroom and says, you know how like Miss Lindsley there was like kind of like makes this like eyeball thing.
Yeah, that was kind of freaky. Not necessarily her, but how nobody said anything.
Yeah, so they can't see it, which was kind of weird to figure out. But there's a bunch of them around here. They're kind of just sort of like intermingled a bunch of the staff. The cook is an octopus in the cafeteria. He just kind of like points up toward the other end of the school.
Yeah,
And,
like Octopop.
like whom?
Never mind.
Um, and
Octopus.
he
I,
goes like nobody
I can.
nobody like can see or tell or something. But I think I don't know. I'm not sure why I can. It might have something to do with the mumble cookies or anything else or something like that. I'm assuming you can just kind of like see that sort of stuff. But like, yeah, I guess they send us into this sort of like area every once in a while when they get new people to kind of get them up to speed.
Oh, I see.
Um, but like everybody here is really, I don't know. I've never really been in a dream before, but they're all pretty real. I've been to people's houses.
Yeah. Wow.
Really?
This is a big dream then.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, I don't. I guess I didn't realize houses were so big. I didn't realize a lot of stuff. And he kind of scratches his head a little bit and says, honestly, I've been a little intimidated. I don't really know math or a lot of reading or writing, but
Well,
I'm kind of exempt
what's
from the tests, I guess.
hmm.
Um,
You'll pick it up. That doesn't take long.
he kind of looks a little like hopeful, but also kind of dubious. Like, this is the last year of middle school. There's been a lot of time to learn math up till now. Um,
Yeah, it's also that's like Winston talking as somebody who learned this 15 years ago or something like
right.
that, and doesn't remember what kind of effort it was.
And he kind of goes, I'm trying. I don't want to do badly at it. I think, I don't want to let Harold down or anything. This sort of feels like my only task right now. I can't really help out a whole lot with a lot of the other ones.
Well, it's important. So but also if you're having problems, I'm sure he'll understand. This is very different from how you grew up. So
He nods and says, "Yeah, there's a lot less bees." And he kind of gives Ambrose a nudge.
Ambrose will grin happily.
And he'll go, "Oh, here," and he'll dig around in his bag and pull out another book that looks a lot more esoteric. Like it's just kind of like this leather-bound thing. And he'll hand that over to probably like Vincetta, whichever of them is closer. And say, "Here." I mean, they'll probably hand out their own ones or whatever, but like this is the gallery history book they've given us. And he
Oh,
kind of like points around and says, "Everybody learns about it. I think it's kind of I don't know. They present that a little bit like a Bible study. So everybody's learning the history. They just don't necessarily know it as a place that they can go to."
Huh.
hmm.
That's
that's
interesting.
fascinating. I'm sorry, John.
Oh no, we said basically the same thing. I said that's interesting, and you said that's fascinating. They just happen to be at the same time.
He nods and says, "So, I mean, there's only like 3 hours left in the school day or something like that. There's some after school stuff that you can do, but if you can't leave, where do you go from here?"
I don't
You know,
know. Where do you go from here?
Uh,
You
he
just
he,
leave?
he kind of gestures back and says, "Yeah, I've got a fence post that I use to just kind of go back to Caterwallen, but as far as I know, it doesn't work for everybody. Otherwise, a lot of the people in here could just kind of exit."
It might
That makes
not be
sense.
real.
Uh, he kind of like cocks a head, like what?
What were you gonna say, Tagon?
Just no, just yeah, that makes sense.
It's like, well, they might be part of this place.
Oh yeah, I mean they might be. Um, y'all could try it if you want. Just see if it works. Oh, but wait, hang on. If you do that, then you'll just be back in Caterwauland, right? How would you get back to where you were?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, and also that might be. I mean, it would be interesting to see if it works, but don't wanna uh renege on our agreement with
Hmm.
Lace.
Nice.
Lace.
He nods and says, "Okay, when school's over, I'll show you where it is, and maybe we can find a way to test it or something."
That's a good
Or
idea.
maybe we have houses here, since we're part of this dream now.
I
It may have
guess
accommodations.
that's
We'll just have to
possible.
look around.
Yeah. Or, I mean, you could just go find a place to camp or something. It's not like your parents are gonna get on your case.
Like,
That that would probably work.
mhm.
I used to go camping all the time as a kid anyway, so
Yeah, he claps his hands and goes, "Yay! I'm so happy that y'all are here. It's been a little awkward trying to make friends. I don't really have a whole lot in common with them. Nobody here has milked a goat."
Well, Ambrose, I have not milked. No, fuck, sorry. So, well, John Luke, I have not milked a goat either, but your friend in
just
me.
just a deer.
I get it.
Mhm.
Huge grin.
The get back to class bell will ring.
And I will follow Ambrose and get back to class. Or follow
Okay.
Jean-Luc and get back to class. Now I did it too. That's my damn character.
Just bee flying in circles. Oh no, it's got the death spirals.
He's just
Uh,
looking for his tail.
on your way back in, everybody do a community perceive at difficulty 2.
All right.
Perceive in 2, so 2d8. God damn it, I closed roll 20 on accident.
Oh, I got a 14.
16.
Show off.
Hey, owl
Do
eyes
we
can't
do
beat
we
it.
add any skill to this?
Your community exert score,
Ah, okay.
not any other thing.
And I can't twist here, can I?
You can, but it's visibly like people will notice.
Okay. I'll stick with my 11.
We will leave it to the the Vinces and Evelyn.
Did you also not get there?
I got a 9.
Okay. Y'all are traveling inside, and Ambrose is too busy trying to figure out, the actual navigations of getting inside a room like this and where you're supposed to go. And Fidelity is probably just kind of guarding his own behavior to the point of not necessarily being quite so aware of the things around him. Um, but Evelyn and the twins can both kind of get a feel for how they're being looked at from the kids around them. Nobody's really had an opportunity to talk to you. You spent the break talking to each other.
Mhm.
So you haven't had much, but you've had a couple conversations probably with students adjacent, even if it was just kind of like, use a pencil sharpener or something like that.
Mhm.
There are a couple amorous eyes that are looking over at Evelyn. Um, there might even be something that might stir into rivalry later. There looks like there might be a cool kids clique um, taking place. I might have to rewatch Mean Girls. We'll see. We'll pop that in there. Um, but the one that is happening to kind of Vince and Vincetta is you're getting a disproportionate number of looks from different people depending on where it is that they're going. And it's making you kind of more distinctly aware of your separation as organisms. This combined with the fact that you now have somebody sitting between you, um, you're finding that like uh, different halves of this kind of pairing may end up having different experiences in this space.
Oh.
Um, and how those kind of get compared to each other is going to feel a little bit different than where you've been in Gallerie, where you're both kind of in the same space at the same time all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, you're still sitting there as the teacher kind of calls the class to attention again. She will also pass out new textbooks to the lot of you. These ones, much like the other one that was given to you by Jean-Luc, uh, are kind of older looking things. Sort of like they haven't been through a publisher, like they're handwritten. Um,
Ooh.
they
Oh,
might be stamped or printing pressed, but they don't look like they were. There's no ESRB on the back of them.
yeah.
Uh, kind of thing like that. Um, but they do look largely identical. So whenever this was made, that was probably like they pressed a certain number of them and that was it.
Right.
Um, she gets over to Ambrose and says, Jean-Luc, where's your book? And he just kind of points back toward um, uh, Vincetta and says, I lent this to her. I'll use Ambrose's. We know each other. And she goes, oh, okay. And hands Ambrose a book
Thank you.
and puts it down, and she'll proceed to hand them off to everybody else except for Vincetta, who's already got one.
Mm-hmm.
And I will run to the bathroom right quick.
I will be right back as well.
Okay. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I went to make iced coffee. I couldn't find the coffee. It wasn't what it was usually.
You
But
just made
there,
ice.
there's some mushroom coffee that Lauren's mom has. And so I was like, well, I'll try this mushroom coffee. The actual coffee was sitting 2 feet away from me on the counter. I just missed it.
Now
But
you
so now
probably
I'm
have
making
tastier
mushroom
coffee.
coffee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mushy, shroomy coffee.
Yep. It's by a company called Rise. It's got shiitake, turkey tail, king trumpet, lion's mane, reishi, and cordyceps all ground up.
I am aware of this company
Nice.
and their covfefe.
Lauren says it tastes like too weird for her, but I like mushrooms like a lot, so I'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah,
And if not, I got creamer and like caramel splashes I can put in there.
I think the general take from coffee drinkers about mushroom coffee was like, this is certainly a thing that exists, and
Yeah.
if you like mushrooms, you will perhaps get something from it.
I have returned.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Tyga.
Mushroom coffee does in fact sound pretty good.
It's not tea for reasons.
Because it is not brewed by steeping.
You're
Okay,
percolating.
so you yeah, get these books. Do do do. Okay. Is that right? Yes. You get these books, and the class begins this kind of delve into additional history. And you can kind of feel the moment it starts up that the tone changes a bit. The way that it's presented is kind of less like the history course that you just went, that was going through like, point by point beats of what had taken place, and feels a little bit more like a sermon. It's actually rather familiar to um, Jean-Luc, who looks, almost at ease in this particular environment, um, as compared to before, where he was sort of like frantically trying to keep up with what was going on. And a lot of the stuff that's being presented are kind of like large, vague ideas, as opposed to a direct, timeline history that's going through. For those of you who have religious backgrounds in your characters, you can definitely kind of feel a combination of sort of familiar things. The way the stuff is presented, the way conclusions are kind of fed to you, and then like the class is asked to echo them. And you can definitely get the feeling of uh, the vocal change in the teacher, where she's adopted the kind of cloyingly sweet kind of Christian housewife candor. This has a name, and I can't remember what it is. Shit, I need to look that up. Um,
Tradwife?
was that?
Tradwife?
No, 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 no. Like there's a so that there's a way of communicating that's kind of used by a lot of fundamentalist organizations to kind of like disarm and put people into a situation where if they disagreed, it feels like a direct attack.
Pontificate.
I mean that is a thing, but this particular phenomenon, I'll find it. Never mind. the point is, it's a different candor than what was there before. A little less academic, a little bit more um, dogmatic, I suppose. Uh, and proceeds to kind of explain some historical recountment of something that the patrons had done in the past, um, which seems to have a particular focus on lace, um, and that could just be that this is the point in the lecture that it is, um, but is referring to various important qualities of this being.
Hmm.
And when they are asked to be kind of like, echoed back, the entire class is kind of repeating like a congregation. And I think most of the stuff that's being kind of covered is going to be more or less the stuff that you can actually find in the book on like 174, 175, and stuff like that. But it's giving um, various examples. So she describes like the signs and importance of this particular entity, including like warm rain and sunshine and humidity, and kind of like dresses them up as like these very kind of like um, uh, associated with like spring and new color and creation. They all kind of feel fairly positive when they're
Mm.
talked about. Also worth
Okay.
noting that it was raining when you arrived. Just a wee bit.
Hmm.
Fidelity is even more uncomfortable as the tone of responsibility and rigid dogma has grown even stronger.
Mhm.
And he is more distracted than he had been, as he's now got that well in his chest of wanting to cry,
Mhm.
Oh,
as the situation is still so stressful, and he will not let that show.
Do a resolve save at difficulty. I'm gonna call it 3.
Okie dokie. Let me look at resolve is the lower of mind and community, or lower of mind.
Actually, I think that is the mind and community one, but we can check. Saves. Resolve. Use the weaker of your 2 mind scores versus the difficulty of the save and add your resolve.
Difficulty 2.
I think I said 3 for this.
Ooh, oh, rough.
Mhm. Specifically because you are in a disdain state.
Oh, 12 on the money,
Look
right
at
on the
that.
nose.
It is you girding your loins, as you will. Um, you can feel the kind of pressure making you feel like you're going to slip, like something's gonna happen. You're either gonna show something, or somebody's gonna sniff you out, or there's some kind of spy, or um, somebody's gonna notice that you don't look completely composed because you certainly don't feel it. Um, and you are reasonably certain that you're like, I know how to get through this. I know how to hide this. I know how to do all this stuff. I did this for years. I can keep doing this. And so far as you're aware, you've pulled it off. But it feels like a little rough. And you can kind of see some of the kind of less practiced folks around you, potentially Ambrose, as they start engaging in behaviors that are kind of like almost worryingly familiar. To Ambrose, who I'm assuming has no particular grounding in this particular type of like presentation,
Yeah.
the repetition, the call and response almost seems fun, or does seem fun. And Jean-Luc seems to be kind of like into it. Um, so as you kind of get an idea for what things are supposed to be said, you can decide whether or not you are also engaging in the call and response. But I would think it seems pretty benign from your particular
Yeah.
perspective.
He'll participate at first,
Mhm.
but eventually he'll be like, okay, we're still saying things, and he'll just kind of get quiet and smile.
And then uh, for the rest of you, y'all can kind of decide how much you're engaging in that or not. It is clearly expected of the lesson.
Hmm.
Um, so if you're not kind of like doing it, there are some people around who are sort of giving you looks.
I think the Vinces will go along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, although it does seem weird. This is definitely not what school was like.
Mm-hmm. Evelyn?
I'm sorry. What do I need to answer?
Are you kind of going along with the sort of like um prescriptive like teaching, like the kind of Sunday school aspect of this, where the class is responding collectively to various classes or questions?
Yes.
Okay. That is probably fairly familiar. I would think that that is likely training that you had as a kid.
Yep.
Um, Depending on where Evelyn had to go for school, that might have actually been how that was handled if you were at like a private religious school or something like that.
Yes.
Um, so in light of those things that you're witnessing, Fidelity, and the fact that you've got this kind of like strain to sort of not be seen, what have you decided is the correct play here?
To just go along with it
Mm-hmm.
and not get noticed.
Okay. You can kind of feel your lips move and the words kind of coming out of your mouth, and they're not the words that you were trained to say, but the feeling, the candor, is familiar. Um, and if nothing else, it's bringing back this kind of idea of I was taught certain things that I am in direct violation of now, and now I'm being taught other things that are contrary to those things. It's just echoing back certain training.
Well, he's just kind of trying to turn off and just, let the moment go on by.
You succeed in disassociating. But you do manage to pick up some elements of the historical, possibly not. Its accuracy is up for grabs. Enactment of kind of Lace's story sufficient that you can kind of be aware of, I think, the stuff that is written in the rulebook, if you wanted to look that over and assume that your character does not know that. Um, the uh, class will kind of conclude toward the end. You'll be given assignments of, read through your books and tell me about, the following key events that took place. Pick out one, fantastic event regarding the patron lace and write a brief synopsis of it. Look through your books, see what you can find. Um, and write us a brief synopsis to present tomorrow, or turn in tomorrow, and head off to your extracurricular activities if you got any. And she will kind of dismiss the class.
I will get up.
I will as well, and I will carry all my things in my arms.
A book bag would probably be useful at some point. You go outside, and as you kind of travel out there, you feel something bap against the back of your head.
Oh no.
That was Ambrose, by the way.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
can you repeat that? Sorry, I'm in the bathroom.
I said as you're traveling outside, carrying all your books and stuff, you feel this like bap against the back of your head.
I will turn and look.
Nothing there. You look down, you see a crumpled up piece of paper.
I will bend down and try to pick it up with my arm full of stuff.
Uh, uh, you grab the paper. There is do a body perceive. Yeah, body perceive. Difficulty 2, I think.
Okay, so it'll be 2d8
I can
plus
roll it for you if you
1.
want.
Okay, that works. I was going to use the dice roller on my phone and just
Yeah.
send you a screenshot of it, but that works.
What's your body exert score? Do you know?
2. Or my body exert score is 1.
Okay. You got a 12.
Wait.
Look
Oh,
at that.
nice. I think I got those numbers wrong. Let me double check. My body perceive is 3. My body exert is 1. Okay. But I
Uh,
succeeded anyway, so
yeah, no,
yay!
you succeeded. That was yeah. So you got there. You heard some snickering, and a couple of the kids are kind of being like, "Oh, definitely, definitely." And as you kind of pick up this paper, there's nothing really on it. Um, you're not specifically certain where it emerged from.
Hmm. I was like, Jean-Luc, do you know who dropped this? And I'll offer it to
Jean-Luc
him.
was a little ahead of you, so did not
Oh,
actually
okay.
see it. Yeah.
I will look around then before I jog up to catch up with him.
No immediate kind of indication of an emergence. Um, it just kind of seems peculiar. But you had taken notice of a few people sort of off to the side, who were who kind of give you this sort of like sneer as you like look over to them. You don't know these people particularly. They were some kids in the class that were like behind you. You didn't interact with them at all.
All right, I'll be like, huh, and I'll just carry it over to and catch up with everyone else.
Okay.
I didn't notice that, did I?
I was kind of assuming based on like room layout and where I kind of assumed the door to be that the people in the back could file out first. So the thought being that Jean-Luc and Ambrose were probably one of the last few like out the door. So yeah,
Okay.
you can likely make a reasonable guess, but it's a matter of whether or not you saw the event take place at all, which is probably just luck. So if you want to roll a luck roll, we can do that.
Okay.
You want high or low?
I'm gonna say low because it's roll 20 and
Uh-huh.
it can't be trusted. Should I roll that?
Yeah, go ahead.
What should I roll?
Like a D10 or D100, something that's incremental. Oh, just over.
Roll 20.
That is roll 20 directly spiting you.
It is.
Yeah.
Let's roll 20 doing exactly the opposite of what is needed.
You turn around and with enough time to kind of see Ambrose kind of like bending over and grabbing this piece of paper. And you can kind of look around because this sort of looks like a familiar scene, but you didn't see anybody throw it. And you can see some kids that are kind of like sneering at him, and being kind of clicky off to the side a little bit. But you didn't witness any particular thing take place.
Hmm.
Are you pondering in an action, or shall I go on?
I am pondering in action.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Alright.
Um, I am gonna walk over to them,
Okay.
teeming with frustration from this day.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that are sneering and snickering.
Fairly large in stature. You are all kind of on this sort of like beginning to like middle to cusp of puberty. Some have gotten larger than others, and because of the general state that is like the eighth grade body set, there's different feelings of just kind of like dramatic physical superiority taking place. You are approaching the jocks. It's the folks who are kind of the '80s shitheads. So, uh, depending on how you've chosen to portray, you may be of less substantive size.
I think that was, and I'm gonna say that was Fidelity in school,
Okay.
but now not so much. Now he looks a lot smaller,
Mm.
and has not realized that he's less coordinated because he's a kid. Um, yeah, he's just gonna walk up to him and just be like, "Something funny?"
You.
It's like, hey, I'm a regular class clown.
There's probably some kind of response like, "Hey, I'm a regular class clown." Or something similar. Where did you all come from? One of them asks. Vaguely accusatory, but also just sort of like, 5 people arrived today, so they're a little like, was there like some kind of like transfer or something?
It's like, yeah,
From where?
You have to say from Nunya.
You realize at this point in mind that you are equipped with something that none of these students have ever encountered. You know about D's nuts.
I was
Yes.
thinking that. I was strongly considering just like, oh yeah, I don't know about everyone, but a bunch of us transferred here from Ligma.
It's not too
Uh,
late if that's what you want to drop.
No, that is that was a stated action.
That's it. Okay.
That's the
I'll-
stated action.
and not knowing at all, what it is that they are about to walk into, fully under-equipped for this battle, a knife to a gunfight. The student says, "The fuck is Ligma?"
Ligma ball! Yeah.
yes.
There's a kind of taken aback and then a flush of like I've been got, and then like one of the ones on the side here is like has to stifle like a bit of a laugh, and there's like there's two other ones here who are affronted because like they've been accosted, and they have to kind of stand in their friend's defense, but at least one of them has been like like that just kind of like came out of it. And kind of goes, "Oh shit." And the big one, the one that you kind of respond to, is this said, "The fuck you just say?"
Just like, I'm just joking around, man. We're from Sugandis.
What?
Sugandis nuts.
Truly, this is Fidelity's Oppenheimer moment. He has released a new horror upon this world.
If there's an amused kid nearby, I'll turn and high five him.
So as you kind of turn to look for that, there's actually kind of some concerned kids nearby, um, that are somewhat like, you are playing with fire, um, uh, to several of them that are there. I also don't know how many are necessarily paying attention. Probably a few because the new students here are talking. At this point, the rest of you have kind of noticed this exchange that's taking place. I think right about then, seeing as how we are in the age group and era that we are, this is probably about the time you're gonna get shoved.
I'll quickly step in and I'll say, hey.
Whoa.
Fidelity was just joking around. I mean, Mark was just joking around. No reason to get into a fight.
Fidelity, what are you, some kind of fucking like Marvel thing?
Like, I don't know what fidelity is.
It's just a nickname I call him as a kid.
No, it's
Long
not.
story.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I'm trying to be helpful. uh
It's like, Evelyn, it's not a problem. This guy understands that I'm just going to come back at him with everything I've got, and I'm going to shove him as hard as I can.
don't fight.
So you go back to shove him.
Yeah.
Roll an attack. Don't include your motif weaponry, but do include your standard stats. Go use your melee skill and everything that goes with it. And then I think the unarmed standard attack is written in here. Let me take a peek at that really quick.
And when I say I'm going back at him with everything I've got, I'm just shoving him.
Right.
I'm not. I
know you're not pulling a knife on him. However, you are about to discover that your innate strength does still exist.
Let's see here. 2d10 plus, let me double check my melee. 4.
Difficulty 1. Kitty.
Difficulty 1.
Yeah, it's a melee attack. Yeah.
Okay, well, d10 and a d12. Wow, 12.
Amazing. That's, I mean, a critical hit, technically. No, it's not. His evade is less than that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. By a long shot. That's weird. Why did that happen? I hate it when lions go to places they're not supposed to go. I think the regular unarmed attack is like 2d6 to go with it, but we're just gonna call it like a strength check here because you're not actually trying to damage the guy.
But I'm not. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
like punching him. I'm just shoving him.
You're just shoving. You connect thoroughly. What is your body exert?
4.
Okay. You connect thoroughly. You are how tall? Do you want to say? I'm gonna say that this dude is tall compared to the kids around him. But like at this particular stage, that makes him 5'8", maybe 5'10".
That feels very tall for a. I don't know how big are kids?
This is like
I'm not,
so like
I'm
8th
never
grade's
around
kind of a
children.
weird time. I'm not really.
Yeah.
I'm not certain. I know I hit a pretty heavy growth spurt around like probably freshman sophomore year. And by the end of the high school, I was 6'4". Um, but like, I think at the end of middle school, I wasn't like, I certainly wasn't 6 feet. I'm gonna stick with where it is. He's tall. He's like
Yeah.
5'8" or something. He's five five
Yeah,
eight,
okay.
5'10".
Looks like the average is 5'1", which means 5'8" is by no means unreasonable.
Mm.
Probably 5'4" or 5'5".
Okay,
Noticeably smaller than them.
right. You give this guy a shove, uh, and a couple of things kind of cross your mind as this takes place. One, you sort of realize mid push that you still seem to have a lot of your physical prowess. You're not really like used to kind of manipulating other humans or something like that because it just hasn't come up very often. But when you go to kind of like lean in and go for it, you can sort of feel the world slow down in a way that you've kind of gotten used to through other combats. Your body doesn't feel like gangly or unreasonable, despite the fact that you've been aged down. You seem to have control over your medium the way that you did before. You just sort of like appear smaller. Um, Two, you're about to become very popular. Um, and three, um, there's a kind of a big wall for like the classrooms, about like 6 feet back behind, and bro's about to hit it. So he gets elevated off the ground and he thunks into the wall from a lofted position, and falls to the floor in kind of a hump, having banged his head, going, ah! And then there's like the collective just like gasps and holy shits that's sort of taken place as this dude's been propelled back about 6 feet, and just like thumped to the side of him. And he's like frantically like holding his head because it's a pretty heavy hit. He doesn't look like he's got a concussor or anything like that. He's just sort of like, he got flung. Um, and you find yourself with a fair bit of breathing room around you. As the other ones kind of like back off for a second and go to look to see what happened.
I just have my face in my hands.
I'm gonna stunned for a moment, realizing he just fucking bodied a child. Um,
I'm gonna have you do quick resolve save here at difficulty 2.
Interesting. On the nose.
All right. There's the briefest of moments there where Evelyn can kind of see your hair kind of tufted up like ears, almost like the Uruase thing. Um, but they flatten back down again. So it just kind of looks for a second like your hair was floating a little bit, but there was a familiar silhouette for a second.
I lean in and hiss, "What are you doing?"
I'm gonna kind of just like, shake my head a little bit and walk over and offer that kid a hand.
He kind of looks up at you uh, very concerned for a second, and proceeds to kind of like drag himself up, like his other friends kind of get up as he dusts himself off and goes like, "The fuck was that? Did you?" All right, just
It's like, hey, do you guys play basketball?
and he kind of blinks a little bit. He says, "Yeah."
You guys want to like, shoot some hoops later or something?
He sort of like looks trapped in this position where he's been fully disarmed and doesn't really know how to react. Uh, uh, and the guy next to him is like, he's probably really good. I mean, considering. Uh, and it kind of goes, "Eh, yeah, like, are you on the team or what?"
It's like, I mean, I could I mean, I could try out.
Well,
I don't know if I'm as good as you guys.
we'll try
So
out.
like,
And if you get on the team, then I guess we'll play.
it's like leave Ambrose alone, man. He's got a back condition, and Jean-Luc helps him out a lot. It's like he's a cool kid. He's just like, he's doing his best.
There's a kind of like a back and forth look that kind of takes place, um, where they are a little unsure of how to react in this situation. There's a default behavior they want to take of just kind of ignoring you, but at the same time, they were swiftly relocated a moment before. And that appears to be lingering in their head because, on the one hand, they're seeing somebody who appears to be relatively pick-onable, and on the other hand, Mr. Popo is standing in front of them saying, "Packing order." um, and they they appear to choose retreat as the better form of valor in this particular case, and say, yeah, well, whatever. Um, we gotta go to practice, and
It's like, yeah, cool. Yeah, that sounds cool.
we'll
It's like, and it's like that's cool. I appreciate it, man. He's like a little brother to me. I'd hate for the team to have somebody have to sit out.
packing order.
And I'm just gonna walk away.
I can tell you where they're not.
Safe.
Safe. But you kind of walk off, feeling some kind of combination of smug and or concerned, depending on the overall situation there. They kind of head off in another direction. By and large, appears to be a somewhat painless exchange. But the night is still young, and there's no telling what authority figures bore witness to moments ago. That said, students appear to be kind of dismissing. Y'all can kind of come back together.
I swear, Fidelity, can we go one day in a new place without you picking a fight?
Well, what did you do now?
It's like I solved a
beat up
problem.
Beat up a kid in front of everyone
I didn't beat up a kid. I just pushed him a little.
into a wall.
He's barely gonna have a bruise. And he knows the score now. That'll make things easier. We gotta solve this problem. We can't have It's like, hey Ambrose,
Yes.
do you know how to pull your punches, dude?
But you punch out, you don't pull your punch in.
See? This is the service I'm providing the school. Ambrose could fucking murder those kids on accident.
There's a look from Jean-Luc of like, you could? I mean, I guess I have watched you do that in a smaller body. And he's kind of pondering for a second, like he hadn't necessarily considered that like there was a parallel. It almost just kind of seems like a separate existence.
It's like I didn't, big important detail here. I didn't mean to throw that kid that far. I figured that I was as strong as like, whatever the size I am is. Nope. That was fidelity strength. Yeah, I shouldn't have pushed him that hard, and now I know better.
Oh, on that topic, really sorry about the name, Fidelity. The panicked.
It's like y'all are trying to give me a stroke.
Well, she said either go home or extracurricular, so I'm gonna go sign up for this choir thing. Could be fun.
I'm gonna go try out for basketball.
All right.
Are these things that like we can do? Says Jean-Luc.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, I never. I mean, it was that part wasn't explained to me. He's looking rather hopeful that somebody will tell him what an extracurricular activity is.
It's just different things you do with your peers after school. So, if I remember correctly, like sports or chess or lacrosse or Latin or
Oh my god.
we had just one sec. We had at my school polo with our own horses.
So we should probably like go see if there's like a guidance counselor or something to see what's available here, because I doubt we're gonna be riding any horses.
I
Yeah, that sounds too fancy.
thought it was quite normal.
You're fancy.
In this day and age, very few schools have their own horses.
I mean, super rich ones do.
Yeah, I don't think this is a super rich one.
Based on what you've observed so far, the super and/or rich both seem to be absent from this location.
Yeah, dude, the textbooks in this place are so old, they don't call slaves immigrant workers yet.
Wow.
Not going to
They-
unpack
they-
that can of-
They do that in your time?
No. They tried though.
They may still succeed.
Yeah.
Right about the time they get rid of the museums. But yes, your statement of trying to figure out what it is you're allowed to do does seem to hold some water.
It's like, come on, bud, let's go find some extracurriculars.
Okay.
I bet there's
I wonder
something
if
for
there's a-
everybody.
Board game club or something like that.
Yeah, they probably got nerd stuff.
I will punch you in the mouth.
I think we both know that's a bad idea. I'm sorry. I think the three of us know that's a bad idea.
Otherwise, he can't make use of that sweet, sweet mouth.
No
Just
comment.
kind of like playfully shove Vince. He's like, come on, tough guy.
Oh wow, that didn't sound nearly as intimidating as I had hoped.
It got across.
I gotta go to the bathroom, and I'm just gonna walk away quickly.
My face is visibly blushed as well, and I'll say, "I gotta go sign up for choir," and walk away.
Both of you need to do. Both of you need to roll on the naughty table, and both of you need to do resist rolls, resist saves at difficulty 2.
Okay. One more. I don't think we have resistance.
Sorry, resolve. Resolve is what I meant.
Okay. I am no longer searching for a stat.
Yeah.
Difficulty 2.
Yeah.
Don't make it.
Keep those on hand. I'm probably gonna be asking you to do that a few times if you need to kind of like resist kind of defaulting to the motif.
Failed it.
As you both depart for the bathroom, some aspect of your motif or another becomes visible. It doesn't need to be huge or super obvious, but it pops up and people can kind of see it as you leave.
Feathers popping out of my hair.
You floof up like a chicken winter, just just kind of like have to like smooth it down, and a couple of feathers kind of come out as you do so.
Yep.
They must have weak bladders.
Small antlers.
They've got a nervous bladder. Small antlers.
Small antlers.
Okay, so Vince and Vincetta can both see you get a little horny as you go. They kind of pop out, and you're just like, just like shove them back in, almost like a Looney Tunes thing.
There might be a bit of a smirk going on.
Yeah, you give yourself a mental high five.
Yep.
Vince standing there, just like, yeah, that's right, bitch.
Yeah, you better run.
um, you get yourself
That broke me.
situated, and smooth out any wrinkles, and do kind of become aware that like as you are involuntarily expressing kind of anything, the tools that you have like learned to naturally express with seem to want to come into play. So your medium is like morphing to show the expressions that you would normally show, and it takes active effort to sort of like contain them to smaller portions. Otherwise, little bits of your motif will just sort of pop up. But it doesn't seem to affect you in any particular negative way at this particular point. They were small and unnoticeable. They do linger though. There are some black feathers on the ground that are just kind of there. You were able to go off and find whatever extracurricular activities you'd like to find. There's a pretty wide variety. You can kind of pick one out if you'd want to. But amongst our weaponry are there's a fencing club. There's a kind of like the chess club, the gaming club, the like board games and stuff like that. Actually, I might have to check the overall collection. I don't know what your selection looks like in 1985.
They definitely had D&D clubs.
Yeah, I think there's. Well, would they have them in the school at that year, or are we still in like the Satanic Panic area? When was
All
that?
I know is that in Stranger Things in Indiana, they had a D&D club.
Okay.
You
Maybe
just
we're
want to
not
find the
there.
hot guy again.
When was the whole we have to stomp this down thing? When was the Satanic Panic and
I mean, it was still happening in
the
'85,
The
but
Satanic Panic ran from its genesis in '78, roughly,
uh-huh.
to the very last. It tamped down around '84 or '85, and then it sprung back up a few years later
Yeah, it was
before
still like
finally.
in the 90s. There was still some. I was encountering it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the true like fallout of it was pretty much petered out by '89. But there were still like people on the street that were doing weird little things. They were just like you weren't seeing much in the way of like political movement at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, there were still people like, at least again, because I was born in '91, my experiences with Stranger Things, and like they have Eddie reading out like an anti-D&D article
Mm. Certainly,
at
yeah,
his
because that's like,
introduction.
where was that show? That's Indiana.
Yeah.
Indiana, yeah.
Oh wow, funny. I did not know that.
It's in central Indiana. It is very unrealistic to a town like that in Indiana in that era.
Well, yeah.
Until the end
Um,
of season 4, in which everyone's in a full-blown satanic panic.
yeah.
I just mean, like, in general, that show feels a little too 80s for an 80s show, when most of your architecture should probably be from the 70s. Like, everything feels like it was made in 81 in that show.
The yeah, the school that I was going to in 1985 was built in 19 like 40s or
Yeah.
50s.
That's what I mean. Is like they aired their sets so distinctly to the '80s for that nostalgia feel that it's sort of like in this area. I would think that a lot of these buildings would be 40 years old by this point.
Yeah, and the school that I went to in the early 90s was built in the late 1800s.
But okay. So yeah, there is a like board gaming club. It probably includes a D&D segment. Um, it may not be advertised that way. Um,
Mhm.
Included in their overall stuff are, however, probably a lot of titles that the Vinces are pretty familiar with because you're roughly close to this era. You are a little
Mhm.
older during this time, but like you know these games.
Yeah.
Do they have those telephone dating board games?
Oh hell yeah!
Hell yeah, my favorite part of the 90s.
There's also, because of where we are, two different shelves that include boys' games and girls' games.
Oh, those signs can't gender me. I'm a bee.
I can't read.
They're gonna try real hard.
Yeah, they can sweetenly
You
try.
can't gender me. I don't even know how that works.
Yep. Why does
Uh,
this game
Yeah.
care if I have a nozzle? We play it with our nozzles? That seems dangerous.
Um, the phone dating game is called Corey Hotline.
That wasn't the only. Oh, no. You're making a reference to The Simpsons.
I am. Hey, this is Corey.
I
Here's the
like. I was thinking of, like, I had an NSYNC one.
were we in the era of VHS games where you would pause it and stop it? We're not at Laserdisc yet, I don't think.
85, I think, is a little early for that.
Yeah, I
Not
think
positive.
those were a little later, but technically possible.
Hang on a second. I need to try a thing.
When did they publish the Black Hole?
Um,
Well, the Atmosphere games were in 1991, so yeah.
I'm
oh shoot.
pretty sure those were all early 90s.
Yeah, I think at least the ones that I'm familiar with. The Star Trek TNG interactive board game that stars Gowron was '93.
Hell yeah.
Wait,
That was so much fun.
is that the one where you can, if you fail, you experience Beige?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
Actually,
Experience Beige!
I think that was actually a success state.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think experiencing beige was a good thing. But I'm not certain.
I thought Beige meant suffering in Klingon.
Well, I mean, we can always ask Aaron. Honestly, this board game set's pretty impressive. I'd never seen the set before. It's available on eBay.
Um, it was very fun when the loading ready run people played the Star Trek one.
Hmm.
Because one of them is called Beige.
Oh.
Nice. Experience me. Freeze chrome all over mouth.
Mediocre.
I really liked watching Beer and Board Games play the Star Trek board game with the video. It was pretty funny.
It looks fun. Um, the overall set is very well themed. Like your little character placements and stuff look like tricorders.
Nice.
You got
Mhm.
little phaser
Oh,
tokens.
That's super neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, Beige is punishment.
Okay. Then.
It pops up if you take too long to solve the puzzle.
Oh no! Then you have to experience beige.
Then you
Yep.
have to experience Beige.
Oh
And you
shoot.
experience Beige.
I'm gonna post this image in the chat so that you can experience Beige. But yeah, that's what it looks like. It's a pretty cool set.
Anyways, I'm going to the
Have
what
some
do
I'm
you
going
more.
to
call it?
Cool Kids Club.
Oh shit! No,
Right?
you are set. Tygon. Axis and Allies was out. Talisman was out.
Oh,
Ooh, yeah.
fun! Yeah.
Doctor Who was out. Apocalypse was out. Um,
Good for him.
Charades. Yeah. Murder to Go. Made by Ideal.
Not a
Dungeon
fan of
Quest. Dungeon Quest was out.
not a fan of Talisman, John.
What? No, I didn't say anything about Talisman.
Oh, sorry. I was just wondering what. Never mind. Fine.
Yeah, no, you got some options here. Talisman will keep you busy. Uh,
Now, it's in school, so your options are probably Monopoly, Risk,
no,
Chess.
this is a club thing. This is a club thing. They've got a few. Axis and Allies is there. Um, there's a James Bond one. There's RuneQuest. DC Heroes had a RPG at this particular period. Star Trek: The Role Playing Game had its first edition out during this period.
Do they have Clue?
Probably.
This is an important question. Do they have Clue or do they have Cluedo? And we'll figure out which region of the world we're in.
Sandman had that? That's interesting.
Oh, I forgot about that. You had little rank sticker things you would put on your T-shirt. I had forgotten about that.
Dune had a board
Oh,
game.
wow.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, there is a board game. There's a board game thingy, and there are actually a fair amount of choices in it.
Cool.
Also, some various other stuff. The basketball team. There's probably like a football thing and a soccer thing. If those are things, there's the choir. There's like band, which you probably had to sign up for, but you're recent transfers, so you can probably get in. There is a more advanced band that is for the advanced players that you have to try out for.
Jazz band.
I don't know if it's going to be called that at this era. I'd have to check, but like, yeah. When I was in high school, it was called jazz band.
It was already jazz band when my brothers were in school, so.
Okay. That was a jazz band. The musical quotients are pretty handled, and then probably some obscure kind of club sports. I bet there's like a rowing club, track, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about track.
Yeah, track is there.
I was in
Is-
marching band. And
Is
jazz
there
band.
theater?
There sure is.
Hell yeah. That is what game club and theater club are the ones that Ambrose is most interested in.
I'll do choir and theater.
Y'all are just giving Fidelity so much work.
I was just thinking about that. Just like,
Hey.
after all I've done for you.
Hey, my character's a girl, so it's fine.
That's true.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. I'm going to tell you what my dean of students told me when I was in 10th grade. If you weren't such a little faggot, I wouldn't have to work as hard to protect you.
Wow!
Christ.
Amazing! 10th grade?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I'd say only in Indiana, but it's really not only in
Oh
Indiana.
no, not at all.
No.
but yeah, definitely game club. Um, maybe I'm sure there's some sort of book club.
Yeah,
Uh,
probably.
yeah, gonna check that out. See what they're reading.
Okay. I imagine whatever constitutes the bigger titles of the day, um, probably like popular novels as opposed to kind of like classics, because like the whole point of the club is that it's just more fun than what the school makes you read.
Hmm.
So there's probably a variety of contemporary science fiction there available, but that's going to include things like, I'm going to check a couple names here, but I suspect Heinlein's in there. Um,
Gotta check what Crichton has written by 85.
uh,
Probably Jurassic Park, I think.
No, that was late 80s.
Oh, okay.
At least I'm pretty sure.
Published 73. Okay, yeah. So Arthur C. Clarke, Rendezvous with Rama. But yeah, Clark's gonna be popular during this period, I think. Um, uh, when were we doing Discworld?
80s and 90s.
I would say it had to be the 80s because the
83.
90s had, or I say the 90s had already had the PlayStation game, which I fucking loved. That was
Yeah.
my introduction to
Ooh.
this world.
So
Oh right. When did the point and click adventure come out? That had to be in the 90s because that's when the Monkey Island games made it
Well, yeah,
huge.
like I said, it was on PlayStation 1.
um,
Oh,
yeah. Pratchett's publishing. Discworld starts in '83, so that's probably gonna be popular during there. You've got a bunch of different stuff that's
Yeah, that came out in 95, the point and click.
Nice.
Mist was '90s, I think, right?
I think
Yeah,
so.
you could read
Yeah.
the Amber Chronicles, you could read the Shannara stories by Terry Brooks. Now my true colors come out. The character, I'm betrayed by
nerd.
you could play, you could read the Berserker series
Doc
or
Savage.
the Lost Swords by Saberhagen.
I have to go before too long. We're gonna have dinner with Haley Millie.
Okay. But yes, tell me where you're going. Now that we've done this little jaunt down memory lane.
Game club.
Okay. Ambrose, you can either follow to Game Club, or you can travel off to one of the other ones.
I will follow to Game Club first, and then I'm gonna go look for theater.
Okay. There's
I'll
probably going to be some schedule overlap, but I will say they're on different days.
Okay.
So the theater has learned that they can't have Game Club and theater on the same day because their cohort seems to vanish. Nobody's sure why. There were no signs. Um, Other folks.
Choir.
That one I think probably will be on the same day. So yes, you can head over to there. Um, and then where's Horsey going? Basketball.
Basketball.
All right. You will head off to. We'll start with Game Club. Um, you'll get out there. The overall layout is this is probably in the library, um, kind of off to one of the sides where a bunch of the tables are collected.
Mhm.
There's a bunch of students there, probably I don't know, 10, um, that have kind of accumulated in this area. Um, yeah, 10 or 12 or something like that. Enough that when you show up with three people, it does constitute actually probably four if Jean is coming with you. It constitutes a relatively large quotient of like new folks showing up. There is a teacher chaperone. The teacher chaperone is undoubtedly the AV instructor, because that's just how it works. And uh, uh, greets you when you show up and says, "Hi, are you here for a game club?"
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Oh, well, welcome. Why don't you come sign up over here so we can keep track of who all is in the club, and um, we will sit you down and kind of let you see the rules and look around a little bit. Do you know what you want to play?
I don't know, but I do like games.
Okay. Well, we have just a great selection donated by the students here. You're welcome to come look through them, but there is a rule for Game Club. If you're gonna participate, you have to bring a game. Um, they just donate it to collection. You don't have to give it to the school. You just have to have it available for the club to use.
Okay.
All
I will
right.
bring one from home.
He nods and gets you all to kind of write down your names. You don't. I guess so. You recognize at least one of the students that are here from your class earlier. Um, and they don't specifically wave, but they're not trying to avoid you or anything like that. It's just sort of like you haven't really met them yet, but you do recognize them. This is a face you've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it'll get you kind of situated and sit you down. Um, Ambrose is rather excited to do it until like a board game kind of arrives in front of him. Or not Ambrose, Jean-Luc is rather excited to do it until a board game kind of arrives in front of him, and then he just sort of looks at it and whimpers a little bit and says, I am continually finding myself a victim to my own illiteracy.
Don't worry, we'll explain it.
If you know a word that big, you must be able to be real smart. Yeah.
He kind of looks sympathetic, looks a little like appreciatively toward you, and says, I'm still figuring out how the cookies work. They seem to let me be able to get information from things that I look at, but I don't think it's exactly what the words say.
Oh, interesting. Like, will you teach us how to play? I'll ask somebody in the room. Oh, sorry.
The teacher will look around for somebody who has kind of played this game before, picks out that classmate, and says, Jessica here can show you how to play. You need 4 people anyway.
Okay.
And will kind of bring her over. She looks a little concerned at first, but not because she's specifically put off, but more, this is a group of 3 new people, and she wasn't in gaming club because of her outgoing personality.
Which is funny because you need more people to play games. You need to be a little outgoing to play games.
Hold on, back up. They went to game club and they found nerds?
This is one of the few that's not from the theater club as well. So, gets overshadowed a fair amount. But she seems relatively eager to get a game of this going because it takes 4 people and nobody was playing it at the time. And we'll begin kind of like laying the stuff out. And as she kind of gets it organized, she does start just sort of like asking y'all about yourselves. So like y'all just like came in from the same school or something? You seem to know each other. Ambrose got here a little while ago.
You mean Jean-Luc?
That one. That one.
Our school closed, so we had to go somewhere new.
Oh wow! What happened?
Bugs.
She blinks. Your school closed because of bugs?
Lots of bugs, yeah.
Oh my
Like
god!
a whole hive of bugs.
Your home belongs to the bugs, and we're gonna.
Are you?
Termites. It was a really old building.
Oh, okay. Are they gonna like rebuild it or?
I don't know.
In this economy?
She's kind of like, wow. Well, I don't think our school has a bug problem. I hope. We get some pretty big spiders in the fall.
Ooh,
But I don't
we'll
think they're
watch
gonna
out
close
for
the
that.
school over them.
That's good.
And she will pass out the cards and stuff that are required and begin to kind of explain. And she goes like, so are the other two with y'all too?
Yes.
Did y'all know each other?
Yeah. We're all in roughly the same grade, I believe.
Oh,
The same class.
are they nice?
Yeah. They've always been very nice to me for the most part. Sometimes, sometimes their love can be a little tough as friends, but we need it.
She kind of like nods understandably, uh, and says, so like, does your friend like normally pick up the biggest dude in the school and throw him against the wall on the first day, or was that just like a special thing?
Oh, he likes to fight
Oh wow,
sometimes,
I see.
but
Um,
he's really good at it. So,
Yeah, he can be a bit enthusiastic.
she nods a little bit, and says, yeah. I mean that's certainly memorable. Kind of coughs a little and proceeds to kind of like get the game underway.
Uh, I,
okay.
I, I, I guess everybody in school already knows about that.
She's like, oh, I mean that moved pretty quickly, yeah. I mean, I hope I can't say that like I'm all that upset about uh, James getting bodied like that, but there's probably gonna be some kind of repercussion.
Yeah, there always is.
Well, the good news is that Mark is not alone. He has us, and while he can stand on his own, should he need us, we will also fight.
Oh, I meant with the teachers. Like they're not gonna be
Oh,
happy about that.
can he fight the teachers?
She laughs a little bit. And is like, I mean, I don't know. You'll probably get in a lot of trouble for it.
Oh, that's a good point.
Um, uh, and she notices that you're kind of like vaguely snuggled up to Ambrose, or rather vice versa, depending on where the
Luke.
fucking hey. I don't know what's going on. First of all, this mosquito needs to go away. But like we're back to Victoria slash uh,
Yeah,
Virginia all over again.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, and says so. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm glad y'all managed to all come to the same school at least.
Me too. It
Yeah,
would
we
not
got
be
we
fun
got
to be
lucky with
alone.
that. I'm sorry.
I was just saying it would not be fun to be alone.
Game proceeds as normal, and for the most part, you're kind of focused on the game mechanics and stuff. It takes a little while to figure stuff out, but eventually you kind of understand where things are supposed to go and how things work. Start having a lot of fun with it. How would you describe your overall social interactions and behavior during this period?
Ambrose is very outgoing.
Mm-hmm.
He, because he's not very used to being around new people, he's excited to talk about like their houses and what they're like and what their toys are like and what are toys and things around school, like what do they eat for lunch and what kind of what kind of stuff other classes learn about. And just he's just very talkative.
Hmm. It seems to be pretty well received. You only have a new audience of about one person so far, but she seems pleased to be having a simple conversation.
That's good.
It's a little hard for you to kind of pick out what parts might be interpreted as strange.
Hmm.
Your overall like exposure to this particular age grouping is about 2 hours long.
Yeah,
So, with the exception of one who came from, you know,
the same
1800s
time.
France, you don't really know what to look for. There are
Okay.
definitely some occasional pauses that seem like she's a little lost for words, but all in all, it seems fairly positive. What are Vincetta and Vince up to as far as behavior goes?
um, they do take a bit to open up. You know, first they kind of feel out the room, so to speak. But you know, when they get a bit uh comfortable,
Hmm.
then they get more talkative. Although probably not as much as Ambrose.
One of the things that will come up is she'll say like, "So do y'all like normally just kind of like hang out with each other all the time?" I mean, I knew a sibling pair a little while ago who was through here, and they kind of got as far away from each other as they could.
Yeah, we've really always been together. It's just what we're used to.
Huh. This character, by the way, goes on to create archive of her
Yay.
own.
Amazing.
I say it was founded on Wincest.
um, but you finish that game up and have time to kind of make another one. And unless somebody wants to bring up anything in particular, I think that that will be a relatively benign meeting for the first club meeting.
Okay.
You'll be there for like 2 hours, and then the club will like adjourn.
Okay.
Um,
Ooh,
but you seem to have made a friend. So
yay.
Jessica seems to
Yay!
like you, and you do get to chat with a couple other people because you're all just sort of sitting at the same table. So there's some cross chatting that takes place. So you meet a few other folks, and it seems to go over pretty well.
It's
Uh,
very funny that her name is Jessica because that was my dead name.
oh wow, I was
Yeah.
unaware. But that is how that interaction kind of goes over. So you can kind of add that to your list of local allies.
I have.
Um, which we should make up a last name at some point, but it's not essential right now. In fact, you might not even know it yet.
Yeah. We did just meet.
Yeah. Um, Meanwhile, over in Choir, um, it is a bit more hardlined. The choir over here takes itself pretty seriously, apparently. And while you arrive eager and um, present and pleased to kind of like show up to this, the teacher involved um, is what do I want from this? I'm gonna say a bat. There's a notion that's running this that is kind of like a large bat-like guy. Um, that again kind of like is a little surprising to see here because nobody else seems to notice. Um, but he's got this kind of like configuration where the bat wings almost seem like a cloak, like he's doing the gargoyle thing.
Mhm.
Um, Kind of tall, lean, has a bit of a mean look to him, and has a overall demeanor of wanting attention to take place. Um, Also, a little um, curiously configured. So the face has a mouth, no eyes to speak of. The eyes appear to be kind of like in the wings, kind of like sprinkled down, almost like gems. Um,
Mm.
so you've got like an arm right here that has this kind of wing membrane that's sitting down and that's looking at you in various different ways.
Mm.
And the overall, head gesticulation and stuff um, is just the mouth that's up there. So the mouth is very enunciated. And the free hand, which will come out from time to time, has a baton and various things that go with it. And when you arrive, he kind of looks up and says, "Name."
Uh, I clasp my hands. Evelyn B. Preston, sir.
Preston. Preston. I don't have you on a list. Why are you here, Evelyn?
Uh, I just arrived and I want to try out for choir.
Tryouts are on Thursdays.
Oh, okay.
There's a kind of coughing that comes from the back, and he doesn't even look up. He says, "That better not be a cold." Um, and one of the girls that's up there and goes, "No, it's just we're down. We're down a person in row three." And he kind of sighs, and you can see this like this eye kind of look up as he clicks a tongue and like makes a mark by a name. Um, and says, "Evelyn, there appears to be an opening. Can you sing?"
Yes, sir, I can.
Hmm. Well, I'll judge that for certain. Step up.
I-
And he kind of like points up to the side um, to like this last back row that's over here.
mhm.
Uh, and says, "Someone give her the sheet music." And one of them kind of like hands off to the side and says, "All right, you haven't rehearsed this before, so give it a listen through on the first one, and then join us on the second, and we'll see where you're at."
Yes,
Um,
sir.
and there, as you're kind of like looking around you can kind of get the feeling that like everybody here appears to want to be doing a really good job. Like they're taking it, about as seriously as he's giving it. But there also is a kind of a little bit more perhaps fear than you really anticipated for what you thought was sort of an extracurricular activity.
Hmm.
This appears to be kind of a stern environment. Um, and when they begin, you kind of understand why. They're all very, very good. The collective choir is very on point. Feels like they have a good coherency to them. Um, and as he's like stopping stuff and correcting stuff and moving stuff, people are responding rather quickly. You, as somebody who's been through um, rather expensive schooling, kind of recognize something that the school is proud of. This probably
Hmm.
makes them money. The
Hmm.
choir likely has some degree of notoriety within this particular school. So it has funding and it's not really tolerating mistakes.
Understood.
Um, and around the time that they have gone on for the first or second go, he will point over to you and just kind of nod to join in. He doesn't actually say anything. He doesn't really give you an on cue. He just kind of expects you to leap in there. Uh, and all you really have in front of you is this list of music that I don't. Did your character have any particular like experience in reading what a song like looks like when it's written to music?
I often joined my sister with her piano music and took part in singing before I was told it was unmanly.
Okay, so you recognize at least the format that this is written in, which is kind of a blessing because you're not You weren't exactly told how to read it.
Mhm.
But you have some exposure into what it looks like, enough that you probably have a reasonable idea of how to join in. Do a body exert and actually, sorry, community exert. Why not? Eh, no, I'm torn on that. I think probably body. And likely craftsmanship.
All right. May I spend a medium to try and make that?
You can, but know that it is not discreet.
Right. No, I don't make it.
Okay.
Damn it.
Let me make sure this is actually what I wanted to use. Sorry. If your culture is better, you can use that too. Or your communication, rather. If your communication is better, you can use that too.
It is not.
Okay. Um, then yeah, you give it your first go here, and like the pressure is like on. You know, it's kind of like it's scary up here. You were sort of hoping for a an easier in, but there's some pressures aside from the ones that this is clearly like a somewhat high strung environment. There's also just something additionally performative about the fact that you're not shrouded in your motif right now. You feel
Mhm.
kind of exposed. You feel like, you know, at any moment somebody's going to pick out that something's wrong. I still feel like I'm hiding something. I still feel like there's this shield in front of the person that I'm trying to portray, and it's causing your voice to crack. It's causing you to not quite like get to heights or clarity that you want to get to. Um, because as you kind of grab for that, you can feel the sort of familiar feeling of how you actually conjure medium to begin with, and the
Mhm.
act of stopping it is sort of like putting a stop on your own expression.
Mhm.
Um, and it's resulting in just a less than great science. And, you know, makes a face once it stops after a little while, or side through. Everybody's looking like a little bit put out, and it says, Evelyn, I thought you could sing.
I can. I'm just nervous.
Have you done any choir singing before?
When I was really little.
He nods a little bit. Um, and says, "All right. Well, at the moment, you're going to be bringing down the rest of the team. So why don't you wait this out for a second, and then we'll get an opportunity to give you a actual tryout and see if this is a place where you can be."
Yes, sir. I kind of hang my head and walk down, not making eye contact with anyone out of embarrassment.
They kind of proceed with the rest of their thing while you wait. Um, and every once in a while, there will be a glance back from one of the eyes that's on this being as it kind of takes note that you're still there. Um, uh, and toward the end of the session, which was like an hour long practice, so not quite as long as the gaming club was. Um, as they begin to pack up, he will give final instructions to everybody who's in there. Um, and then say, all right, we will see you all in 2 days for the next practice. Um, and he'll look over to one of the students that had spoke up earlier about the missing person and say, "Do you know if Miss Vega is going to be joining us come Friday?" And she kind of like shrugs nervously, uh, and he will kind of like tisk a little bit and say, "Well, then I suppose we have to fill this void with somebody." Um, and he sighs a little bit and says, "Evelyn, do you think you can actually attempt a tryout now?"
Yes, sir.
Um, and he'll bring you to the front. And it says, let's see if you perform a little differently without a crowd. I'll warn you ahead of time if the only way you can perform is solo, you don't have a place in a choir.
Yes, sir.
And we'll proceed to get out some music to kind of like have you go through. Um, and there are some students that are kind of hanging around to watch. And he gets up to kind of like start you. Um, and then he stops a little bit and he looks back toward the crowd and says, "Shoo, go home." And they kind of like filter out the door at his insistence. And he'll go over and kind of lock it sinisterly and says, "If you're going to try solo, we might as well have it be fair." Um, and then I'll come back to the front and he'll put down the baton and take the music that he handed you and kind of toss it aside and lean back with his arms crossed and say, "Now sing."
All right, I will open my mouth and begin to sing.
Go ahead and roll it again. Let's just kind of see what it does.
Okay. I make it.
Nice. Now, you feel yourself pick up. You feel it all start to flow a little better now that you're not having the eyes on you. You can probably pull this off. I mean, clearly the dice say that you can. Pull this off fine the way you are. There is something kind of funky about this setup. He could have just sent them out. He locked the door. There's nothing in here but you and a notion. You can actually feel the music that's kind of vibrating back and forth. It's possible he doesn't know that you're a muse. Really, the other teacher that you had didn't know. It's also possible that it does. Um, Go ahead and roll your resolve save that you did before, the difficulty 2 one.
Okay, 1 second. Ooh. I don't make it.
You start to manifest, not to manifest, but your motif kind of pops up just a little bit. You can kind of feel feathers picking out from under your clothing a little. You have an option at this point before it becomes too obvious. You could either cut yourself off or you can kind of lean into it.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. I lean into it.
Okay. Why don't you toss a free medium at your singing there, and let's just see what it popped out to. Little
13.
one extra in there, kicks it up over the top. Your um, motif kind of flourishes a little bit more. You feel just a little bit of extra mass that pops up from the feathers that are appearing. You can feel your overall pitch shift just sort of improve a little bit brighter as you stop dedicating mental energy to holding this back. And a little bit of medium just like leaks into your voice. That causes the overall lighting in the area to just kind of brighten a bit, especially the spotlights that are currently down on your position. Just kind of seem to brighten dramatically for just a moment. And there is a pause and then a smile. And he says, "Now, can you do that without being so obvious?"
I kind of realize what's happened, and I push it down, and I say, "Sorry, sir."
And there's a bit of a smirk and says, "My statement from earlier was true, Evelyn. If you can't sing with people, you can't sing in a choir. But we'll see you on Friday."
Thank you, sir.
And you can head out the door.
I bow my head quickly and quickly hurry away.
On the basketball course. The basketball course. Guess how much basketball I played.
Is it okay if I bounce Millie and Haley are here now?
Okay. You're not supposed to bounce if you're not on the basketball course, but
That's fair. All right.
Ta-ta.
Thank you so much for the game. I had so much fun. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you too.
Are you basketballing or are you tracking?
Basketballing.
Okay. You head down there. There's a coach. The team is getting ready. Folks are meeting out in the front as it's getting ready to start. The coach up says, "Hey, all right, so we got some new people, new folks. I need you to come up over here so we can do some tryouts and some drills. Everybody else, go get changed. New, what are you wearing currently? You manifested some clothing, right?
Yeah. Should get into some kind of like, like gym shorts or something.
Right, but when you came down here, were you already changed, or were you wearing what you had in the school?
I'm probably still wearing what I have.
Okay,
Because it didn't have, I don't think it has occurred to me yet that I'm not gonna have just, have gym clothes.
right. So he'll kind of point at you. He's got a clipboard and pencil and be like, "You're trying out.
It's like, yeah,
You have any basketball experience, or?"
yeah, I'm pretty good.
Okay, great. All right, well, so we're gonna test you out. We're gonna make sure that you're caught up with the other kids. You got shorts.
Oh, yeah, let me go change.
Okay, be out here in 10. I mean 5. He says I think 10's kind of a long time, but whatever. He's like, yeah, be out here in 5. If you're not in the line by the time we start, you don't get a spot in line.
I am going to run to the bathroom and try to manifest some gym clothes.
You jump into the gym bathroom, and it is full of other students, as is to be kind of expected, and they are all changing. And a lot of eyes are on you because at this point it's had several hours to spread that you enforced a pecking order earlier.